Yeah. So definitely I am a black preacher, and I'm gonna stick to my notes because I can easily become intoxicated with the exuberance of my own verbosity, and I don't wanna do that. You know, it's super dope to be here tonight for this event. I'm a native of San Francisco. I grew up in Hunters Point, and HP in the house for sure. And you know, this city has changed. I mean, the whole Bay Area has changed. You're a native of the Bay Area. And I believe that the work that I do is really a tribute to all of my homies in the neighborhood who didn't make it out. In the 90s, we all know the crack epidemic really tore our communities up. And so many of my loved ones who got caught up in the streets, serving life sentences for killing police or Pookie, right? I mean, it was like a lot of us just got caught up, and so I don't know exactly why I made it out. I thank God for my parents, and certainly thank God for you know, a lot of good chances. And so part of what I want to, you know, submit to you all tonight is a question I ask a lot of the folks we work with. Will you be a chaplain of the empire or a prophet in the resistance? And at the end of the day, we all really have a choice. I think that what my dear sister said before, I don't need to rehash it, is really just about how will we use our privilege and our access to, you know, power and capital and wealth and position to make sure that those who we know and love are not left behind. And so if you are here in the Bay Area, and this is an opportunity to celebrate Black excellence in the Bay Area, I hope our celebration is a celebration that unleashes the responsibility in all of us to make sure that no matter who we are and where we are, that we are actually leveraging everything that we have to make sure people are not left behind. And so in that vein, a lot of the tech work that we have been able to do really flows out of some of the experience and leadership of people like Edeline and a few others who started some tech programs for our young people in the East Bay. How many of y'all heard of the Black Panther Party? Right? And one of the youngest first Black Panthers to be killed was a young man by the name of Bobby Hutton. He was killed at the age of 16 in a shootout with the Oakland Police Department. And there was a vision for us to create a tech program that would introduce young people to the intersection of tech, art, activism, political education, and revolutionary finance, if you will. And we were able to leverage a bunch of relationships. Volunteers from all across the Bay Area came, and we had about 12 students, about 12 to 15 students that would come after, during the summer, at the end of their day, and spend 4 hours a day learning how to code and put games together, et cetera, et cetera. It was super dope, and we got computers donated. But one of the things that I really regret as I watched the program happen was there were very few Black tech folks there volunteering with the kids. And it made me ask a whole lot of questions about what has happened to us. That we can become so successful that we don't have time to give back to our own children, right? W. Du Bois talked about the talented tenth. Anybody heard this idea before, the talented tenth? And he said that 10% of the community would do well, and they would help lift up the 90%. And towards the end of W.E. Du Bois' life, he said that he doesn't believe in the talented tenth anymore because he never thought that the talented tenth would be just as self-centered as the mainstream population. And forget their social responsibility, right? Be a selfish white folk. That's what you're saying. That's what I'm saying. Touch your neighbor, tell them white folk. And so, one of the great things that I think is a challenge for us in this moment is how do we, as Black folk, resist white supremacy, internalize racism, and make sure we do not reach for whiteness. Right? And some may say, I'm too dark to reach for whiteness. But whiteness is not about the melanin in your skin. Whiteness is about a false sense of success that is located in a bridge and a road that leads to nowhere. Whiteness is this idea that if you are successful and everybody else is trying to figure it out, that it's not your responsibility to make it happen. Whiteness is the manifestation of white supremacy, racial hierarchy. If you're not a man, if you're not wealthy, if you're not an elite, and if you aren't someone that owns property, then your value is less than the rest of the human population. And so what I would submit to you is that there will be opportunities, particularly in the age of Trump, to reject the notion of whiteness and white supremacy and recover the notion of our collective solidarity as human beings. Dr. King said it like this, and I will certainly agree with him, particularly in this moment, because we can talk about Trump all we want to, but living in the Bay Area, how many know the worst things happening here in the Bay Area is not because of Donald Trump?
That's right, that's right.
Right?
SFPD.
How do you spell murder, right? SFPD, that's one of our chants out in the street, right? Gentrification, the disinvestment in education. We know that Donald Trump is not the only boogeyman that we got to worry about. And so for us in this room, my hope and prayer is that as we celebrate Black excellence, we will remember that we can't be free if all of us aren't free.
Yeah.
Dr. King says it like this: I choose to identify with the underprivileged. I choose to identify with the poor. I choose to give my life for the hungry. I choose to give my life for those who have been left out of the sunlight of opportunity. I choose to live for those who find themselves seeing life as a long and desolate corridor with no exit sign. This is the way I'm going. If it means suffering a little bit, I'm going that way. If it means sacrificing, I'm going that way. If it means dying for them, I'm going that way because I heard a voice saying, do something for others. That to me is Black excellence. May we celebrate it every day of our lives and make sure that we bring up those folks and loved ones who we know are left out of the sunlight of opportunity. So God bless y'all. Thank y'all for having me here tonight.